Welcome to the Middle School Athletic Director podcast. My name is Thomas Frederickson, and I'm the host of the podcast. And I'm so excited to be back for season three. Little recap for the episode we're fixing to listen to. We talk about preseason parent meetings, and we talk about the 11 key factors to success that I talk to our parents about to hopefully get them on board and us have a great season or a great year during that school year. So, hope you're able to get better from the information today. But before we dive into it, here's a word from our sponsors.
Bring your school's legacy to life with the Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. Our interactive display highlights your greatest moments and top performers, both past and present, across athletics, academics, and the arts. But it's also so much more. With our one-of-a-kind content program, we help you every step of the way so you can tell more compelling stories that will engage your whole community.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
This is Game Time. Neptune Game Time creates a high-energy game day atmosphere that your players and fans will love. Every song in our database is 100% lyric safe, which means you can stop screening music for good. Game Time also provides custom messaging to help you promote your upcoming events, concessions, and event-specific announcements. And it gives you the opportunity to sell sponsorships on your station that will generate revenue for your athletic department. Amp up your game day with Game Time.
Welcome to season three of the Middle School Athletic Director podcast. I'm so thankful to be doing season three and been doing this again, and hopefully helping you on your journey as an athletic administrator at the middle school level. So I do appreciate all the love and support we've gotten over the past two seasons. I know it's been a while since we've put out an episode. It's been back since March. But with all the spring conferences happening and then obviously summer break and things like that, it's kind of hard getting an episode put out. So, but we're back in full force. This season, just like last, may look a little different. Maybe a little shorter episodes, just trying to find topics to talk about and to discuss about that benefit the time that we're in, and maybe the time of the school year that we're in to help you as you move along this school season. So a little bit kind of where I am now. Last we left off, I think I just had a kid, so we're rolling with a 11-month-old and a 3.5-year-old boy. So it is very tiring at the Frederickson household, but it's fun times. I'm actually coaching a varsity volleyball team as well. We're doing well there. We started off the season very positive, and was able to go to a preseason tournament and win that. So excited to get back into coaching on that side of it. Also helping out a couple of schools as well, still as a sports information director, and helping them promote their student athletes and programs there at their school. So a lot of going on, but this is something that I love and want to help continue to help grow the profession of a middle school athletic director. So today we're going to discuss parent meetings. I know some of y'all may have already gotten your parent meetings done. I know here in South Carolina, we actually started sports at the beginning of August. So our parent meeting was that first week of August. But I know a lot of states and different things really don't get ramped up until after Labor Day. So I wanted to try to get this out on the Labor Day weekend to kind of discuss it. Couple of things what I do on a parent meeting. Obviously, the first 10 minutes or so is just all the ground rules, right? What the school requires, what the district requires, what the state requires. Here in South Carolina, you've got to every coach is required to take the NFH courses on concussion, heat, sudden cardiac arrest, and student abuse. So you've got to make sure all those are in with the coaches, but also we have to make sure that we are in compliance with all these different other forms that we have to get from the parents. Not only the physical, but the risk forms and the trainer forms. And there's a lot that we have to get in, so that usually at that parent meeting we hit on that. If you have sports insurance, you have things like that, how the school or how the team is traveling to and from games. Is it going to be a carpool situation, or do you have a bus, or you require them to ride the bus to and from um, the games? Again, all that stuff usually what I cover right at the very beginning. Usually, I'll let the principal, if the principal wants to speak, let them speak about the school side of it, so the academics and the behavior in class and things like that. So once we knock out all the general information that the state requires, the school requires, and things like that, then that's when we get into more sports specific. I actually like to do a fall coaches meeting, a winter coaches meet, or a fall parent meeting, a winter parent meeting, and a spring parent meeting with all the sports together, especially at the middle school level. You're not going to have as many. So most times we could do that. So, that's, as the role as the athletic director, I'm the one giving obviously the general information, but then I like to get into, before we break off into teams and actually let the coaches speak to the parents about more sport specific, team specific things. I like to speak to the parents on what I call my 11 key factors to success. So I'm going to kind of go over those in this episode. If you're watching the video on YouTube or Spotify, then you'll actually see the presentation that I used for my parent meeting. But if not, no worries. You'll still be able to get it, because again, I'll talk about exactly what's on the screen. So again, these are my keys to peak performance with parental support that I'm looking for the parents to have throughout the season. So number one, I touch on, let the coach coach, right? How many times have we said that to a parent, but a lot of times it's very hard, right? Let the coach coach. Leave the coaching to the coach. They are with your daughter or son, the rest and the rest of the team every day. If a player has too many coaches, it is very confusing to them and their performance declines, right? Try to teach your parents to trust in the training, right? There's a reason why that coach is in that position, right? They have skill, they're a former player, they have backgrounds with the school, whatever the situation is. Sometimes it's a teacher, but we got to try to get the parents to understand that there is something going on, whether it's a schematic, whether it's technical, tactical, different things like that. The reason why the coach is coaching the way they are and teaching the way they are is to beat the goals of the team. So again, try to get the parents to understand, let the coach coach. Second thing I talk about is support the program, right? We can't do this without the parent support. So I ask my parents to get involved, volunteer, right? Ask them to help out if you're hosting tournaments and concessions and pregame meals, right? If your parents have a company, ask them to sponsor the program, right? Why do we have to wait till the high school for businesses to start sponsoring us, right? So ask if parents and community members have businesses that would like to sponsor, and that just gives more back to their student athletes. Okay, anything to help support the program. Okay, so again, the number two factor is support the program, get involved. Now, sometimes parents think if they're involved, they may have a voice or a little bit stronger of a voice. But that's kind of what we will touch on as we go down these key factors. So number three is be your child's best fan. All right. Be encouraging during a game, not critiquing. If your child misses a ball or scores a point, they need support at that moment. Right. So we need to support them, make sure that the parents are understanding. We need to clap and cheer and support them during the mistakes, during the bad times, if you want to say, but also the good times, right? When they make that 3-pointer to win the game, or they make a 30-yard shot in a soccer game, or whatever the situation may be, right? We need them to be their biggest fan. That goes back to number one about letting the coach coach, right? If the coach is the coach, we need the parents to be the biggest fans, because again, we have to work together in that. So Number 3 is be your child's biggest fan. Number 4, okay, cheer all players on the team, right? We just talked about be your child's biggest fan, but you also have to be the biggest fans for everybody on the team, okay? Foster teamwork. Your child's teammates are not the enemy. When they are playing better than your child now has a wonderful opportunity to learn and get better, right? This is a great teaching opportunity, not only to the players, but to the parents, that within the sports setting, there is competition. There's competition for positions. There's competition for playing time. Okay. Whenever the games are in a close game and it's tight, the best players are going to be on the court. Right. So during the practices and things like that, that's when the competition happens to try to earn that spot on the court. So getting the parents to understand that we've got to cheer on all the players, right? If your son or daughter is not on the court or the field, right, make sure we're still cheering on the teammates, not sitting there running your mouth about the kids that are playing and saying that your kid is better than them. Because again, that hurts not only the atmosphere, the culture of the stands and the spectators, but it also hurts the kids because it will get back to them that things were said within the parents. Number 5, this was a big one for me because I've lived it in my 20 years of coaching. Number 5 is don't bribe or offer incentives. Okay, basically what that means as a parent, your job is not to motivate. Leave this to the coaching staff. Bribes will distract your child from proper concentration in practice and in game situations. Okay, so for example, right, so this is I'm in volleyball. If I've got a parent that's like, hey, I'll give you $100 if you get 25 kills tonight. Right? So now all that girl is thinking is, oh, I need to get these 25 kills so I can get my money, right? Or I can go do this fun thing this weekend, or whatever the bribe is, and it takes away from the team, right? It takes away from our team goals. Maybe we have to be very defensive that game, and we're not going to have a lot of swinging opportunities. But every time that ball comes anywhere near her, right, she's going to be jumping up trying to kill it instead of placing it where she needs to, or maybe getting out the way and letting another player come in. Or if I sub her out for whatever reason, now she's upset at me because she's not going to be able to get those 25 kills to get her money or her reward or whatever. So understand, trying to get the parents to understand that is, don't offer these bribes or incentives on stat type deals, right? So let the coaching staff do the motivating and the motivation within the team to help foster the teamwork to build that success. Okay. Number 6, encourage your child to talk with the coach. Okay. This is really what I start getting into playing time. A lot of people don't want to talk about playing time, but I usually talk about playing time during my parent meeting. We talk about, that they have to compete for the playing time, like we just discussed. But number 6 goes right along with that too. Encourage your child to talk with the coach. If your child is having difficulty in practice or in games, or can't make it to a practice, encourage them to speak directly to the coach. By handling the off-field task, your child is claiming ownership of all aspects of game preparation as well as playing the game. Okay. So if a child has to miss because of a doctor's appointment, right? I'm not saying that the athlete, the middle school athlete, needs to be texting the coaches, but there are plenty of apps out there that allow communication. We use SportsU just because I like that. If I ever had a question about something that was said, I can print it out right then and there and give it to that parent or give it to that administrator. I also don't, while we're on that topic, I also don't shy away from parents being part of that SportsU. So I have parents on there, I have athletes on there. Everybody sees the exact same stuff, so there is no question. But I want to hear from the athlete themselves about why they're not going to be at practice, right? I have to stay after to make up a test. I have a doctor's appointment, right? I have such and things like that, because we've already had that discussion in our team preseason meeting about what are acceptable abscesses and not acceptable abscesses. But then again, like I said, this is also when I get on to playing time. If if a athlete has a problem with their playing time and they think they should be playing more, I want them to come talk to me. I want them to go talk to the coach and try to understand why they're not on the court or the field. Um, Sometimes this may be, depending on which kind of strategy you're looking for in the game. If it's a very offensive player, but you're looking for a more defensive game, that might be why they're not on the court or the field. Okay. Sometimes if I ask them, I say, well, what position? Well, I would know my athlete, but again, you ask them what position they are, what position they want to play. They name that position. And then my next question to them is, well, are you better than that person that plays that position? Right. If they say no, then the discussion's over. Right. So, but then if they say, yeah, I think I'm better than them, or I'm equal to them, I'm like, all right, well, next practice, we're going to have some type of competition to win that spot. Okay. So not discouraging the playing time talk, but I want to talk to the actual athlete, because a lot of times, sometimes it's not that big of a deal that the parents make it out to be. So encouraging the child to talk with the coach. Number 7, understand and display appropriate game behavior, right? I know we've had multiple episodes on this podcast about game management and game behavior and crowd management and things like that. But I'll always like to remind the parents that, remember, your child's self-esteem and game performance is at stake, right? Be supportive, cheer, and be appropriate. A player needs to focus on the parts of the game that they can control. If she hears a lot of people telling her what to do or yelling at the referee, it diverts her attention away from the task at hand, right? How many times have we go back to number 1, let the coach coach, but how many times have we seen or heard, right? There's 2 coaches at the game. There's the actual coach, but then on the other side of the court or the field, there's another coach, which is the parent, right? So in the especially at the middle school level, they get very confused on who they're supposed to listen to, right? If I don't listen to the coach and what they're asking me to do, I'm not going to play. If I don't listen to mom or dad on the other sideline, I've got to go home with them, right? So there may be, things there that, because they're not listening, right? I had a basketball girl a couple years ago. Every time she made a mistake, the first thing she did was look at her dad. And, I tried to get that out of her and say, hey, don't worry about it. Everybody makes mistakes, move on. But every time she made a mistake, she would look at her dad, and her dad was trying to coach her from the sideline. That hurts, right? And I try to explain that to the parents that's not good. It's not good for the program, and it'll actually affect their performance. And if it affects their performance, then they're not on the court or the field because somebody else is going to beat them in that playing position. So, trying to get the parents to understand that. Also, going back to the officiating. Okay, every official is not going to be the best, right? I've had officials that it was their very first game ever, and it never looked like this guy had ever played the game of basketball. He was bad, but I couldn't, as the coach, I wasn't about to ream him, because if I start doing it, then the fans and the spectators on the other side will start doing it. So trying to get those parents to understand that they are human, right? They are going to make mistakes. We're going to have some great ones. We're going to have some bad ones, right? But we shouldn't be yelling at the officials, because once they start yelling at the officials, then the players are going to start doing it, and they're going to think that's okay. So trying to get the parents to understand game behavior. Number 8, help your child keep her or his priorities straight. Okay. Help your child maintain a focus on schoolwork, relationships, and the other things in life other than that sport. Also, if your child has made a commitment to the sport, help them fulfill the obligation, right? Don't be that one parent that if something goes wrong, was like, well, you can just quit, right? So now you're hurting the team. You're hurting the school. You're hurting maybe that kid's mental state. Maybe they don't want to quit, but it's something that go the right way that the parent thought, and they're taking the kid off the team. So trying to get them to fulfill that obligation for being on the team. And the biggest thing is the schoolwork, right? We know that a lot of times, especially on at kids that have been playing sports for a lot, and that's an aspiration to play in college or maybe at the next level, is sometimes academics takes the back seat, right? Well, in a school setting, academics has always got to be number one. So, because if they aren't academically eligible, then they can't play anyway. So trying to get the parents to understand, hey, if your son or daughter needs to make up a test or needs to get some tutoring, right? Let's do that so they're able to play the sport, because they're not falling back in schoolwork. So, even calling the parents out on that. So, hey, let's try to help with keeping their priorities straight. Number 9, a reality test or a reality check, if you want to call it, right? If your child has come off the field when their team has lost, but the player has played their best, help them see it as a win, right? Remind them that it is to focus on the process and not the results, right? They should not be as satisfied from success that occurs despite inadequate preparation and performance. So, meaning if they're not preparing correctly at practice and they're not giving it their all, they shouldn't be satisfied with that because their performance lacked, right? So, encourage them to step it up in practice, to get better, to earn those spots and things like that. But the worst thing I always like my players to ride back on the bus, because I want the team to be together, especially if it was a tough loss. If it's a game maybe we should have won, but we just lost in the last second for whatever reason. The worst thing I want is that athlete getting in the car with the parents and the parents just going through every single play of the game and just dissecting it. And some of them, maybe they're just ripping into the kid or telling them that they should have done this and that and all that. I know I can't affect the home games, but the away games, at least we can get on the bus. And I will tell you, probably 10 minutes down the road, the athletes have forgotten about it. They're all having a good time. They're all laughing and singing and listening to music and things like that. So just trying to remind those parents about when the athlete gets in the car, it's not time for them to reactivate everything or go through all the plays in the entire game and dissect it all. It's that time for the parents to goes back to being their biggest fan. It's time for them to congratulate them on a good win or to say, hey, that was a tough one. You'll get them next time. I'm pretty sure y'all will fix it in practice and let it go. All right. So number 9 would be the reality of things, right? Number 10 is have fun, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're going to, as the coaches, we're going to challenge each kid to reach reach past their comfort level and to improve as a player. But we will also do this by putting them in tough environments. But those environments we also want to be fun. Okay. We look for, as the coaches, we look forward to the process, and we hope the parents do too. Right. So we're going to challenge your son or daughter, but we're going to have fun while doing it. Right. Maybe that comes back to, again, I grew up in the old military style coach where fitness was a punishment. I've actually kind of took that away, and to me, fitness is not a punishment, because it goes with one of those is students or the athletes are afraid to make a mistake, right? I want my athletes to make a mistake, but if they're always on the court or the field, worried about making a mistake because coach is going to punish them, right? They're not having fun, right? So this is what this whole thing is about is the experience. I know we've talked about the athlete experience a lot on this podcast over the past 2 seasons. And so that's the big thing is are those athletes having fun? Okay. Are their parents having fun? Right. We want to push them. We want to take them out their comfort level, but we also want to do it in a fun way. So I think we'll probably have another podcast here pretty soon about culture and how to make some of those things fun for the athletes, but just reassure your parents that you are trying to have fun as well. And then the last one, number 11, would just be the memories. Right? Studies have shown that the players' memories consist of team activities, friendships, and fun times at practice and games. Okay, versus the team records and personal performances. Right? You go back and ask an athlete or even some of the parents, right, what they enjoyed about middle school sports. Right? They'll probably tell you something that has nothing to do with the record. Okay. They probably don't even remember the record, but it was something that they did at practice. It was something that they did before games or after games or something maybe that happened in a game. Um, but and because that is a personal memory. So try to remind the parents that the memories that you have when you look back into when you were playing, right? A lot of it's not the records or your personal performance. A lot of it is time with the team and being active in the practices and games. So let's try to make those memories for um, your son or daughter. So those are the 11 different things that I discussed with my parents. So just kind of as a recap, for those that were taking notes, number one was let the coach coach. Number two, support the program. Number three, be your child's best fan. Number four, cheer all players on the team. Number five, don't bribe or offer incentives. Number six, encourage your child to talk with the coach. Number seven, understand and display appropriate game behavior. Number eight, help your child keep her priorities or his priorities straight. Number nine, a reality test. Number 10, have fun. And then number 11, just help them create those memories. So this is what I go through with my parents at the parent meetings as a whole. And then, like I said, after that, then I will break out. I will divide the teams into their own areas, so those middle school coaches, can talk to their parents. Then, right, that's when they will start talking about if they're doing pregame meals, if they need money for apparel and or things like that, whatever the coach needs to discuss. So I hope you were able to get some stuff out of this day. Hopefully it was valuable to you. It maybe takes a little bit of time during the parent meeting, but sometimes this is the only time we get to actually stand in front of those parents and have a conversation with them. So I don't mind taking a little extra time to go over these things, because I make sure all 11 of those actually hit things that we are asking of them. So like if we need concession workers, when we get on that one that's asking about support, we need your support, then that's when I actually I'll bring up we need people to sign up. So maybe it's put a QR code up on a screen or something, say, hey, here's the sign up sheet, please sign up. So you tailor it to what your actual needs are, and input those things into those 11 items. But it's worked since I've started using it years ago. So hopefully that it helps you out as well. Feel free. I don't mind sharing my PowerPoint that I did with my parents this year. Feel free to reach out. You can just reach out at you can find me in my personal one, just adfreddy22@gmail. So that's ADFREDDY22, so 22 at Gmail. So if you reach out to me and say, hey, I would love to have that PowerPoint, I'll shoot it over to you in a Google slide, and you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. You just change the pictures, the logos, and make it fit to your school and your theme. So it's great to be back again, like I said. But hope you were able to get grow and get better today, and we'll see you next time on season 3 of the Middle School Athletic Director podcast.
At the Wall of Fame, our mission is to bring your school's legacy to life. We transform school tributes to make it easier than ever to celebrate your whole community, showcasing your school's diverse history, proudest moments, and top role models. We understand that the true value of our Wall of Fame is in your content. Whether you are starting a new tribute or adding to an existing one, we give you all the resources you need to build an interactive experience and take your content to the next level. For more information about the Wall of Fame and a 5% discount, visit vitalsignswalloffame.com/Freddie.